Great. So PlayStation 5 Pro, a liquid metal masterclass or a motherboard time bomb. Welcome back to Majesty Computers. While the gaming world is busy counting pixels and comparing frame rate on the newly released PlayStation 5 Pro, we are stepping up to the bench to look at what exactly matters. As a technician, I don't care about the marketing hype. I care about structural engineering, thermodynamics, and repairability. Today we are diving deep into the PlayStation 5 internal cooling matrix. Sony has packed a massive upgrade GPU into their sleek chassis, but they are relying on a highly volatile substance to keep it cool: liquid metal. Is this console a masterpiece of thermal? Is this console a masterpiece of thermal engineering, or is a tickling time bomb? That's what we are going to see today. For your motherboard, let's trace the trace and find out what exactly Sony has packed to us this time. The reliability of this liquid metal. Liquid metal is an alloy made of gallium, indium, and a tin. These are the three main substances which liquid metal is made of. It has a thermal conductivity rating that blue standard silicon. It's that blue standard silicon based thermal paste. This is exactly how Sony managed to shrink the cooling solution while boosting the clock speed on the main custom AMD processor. So this time, Sony decided to pack a huge processor, which is the AMD Zen, right? Which is a very powerful processor. They packed it into their slim chassis, giving us this very smooth gaming experience you are now having on the PlayStation 5 Pro. But there is a catch. From the technician perspective, right, liquid metal is very electrically conductive. That's why you need to know it is electrically conductive. If standard thermal paste leak off the chip, the normal paste we normally put on chip, when they leak out of the chip where they are supposed to be, it is still a normal thing, nothing bad happen. But when liquid metal leaks out of where it's supposed to be and touches the main board, that is a complete disaster. Your chip is completely dead. It will break the capacity surrounding the APU and instantly cause a catastrophic short circuit, killing. Please do well to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Also comment below, let me know what you want us to fix this. $700 console in milliseconds. That's how dangerous liquid metal can be compared to normal thermal paste. Great. Now the next thing we are looking at is the positioning, or how this thing is supposed to be kept. So in case you have one of these new devices and you want a better place to keep it, Sony actually switched to a vertical placement instead of our normal horizontal way, and with a liquid cooling. That means with time, with aging, this liquid cooling, gravity will push it downwards from where it's supposed to be. Now it will be the lower part of it will be experiencing a very good cooling system, whilst the upper part will be experiencing a hot temperature, leading to auto shutdown and other stuff, which I don't think you like. However, as a hardware architect, I am still giving you a honest warning. If you run your PS5 Pro vertically, in a high vibration environment, like I said before, this gravity will push the thermal, which is the liquid metal, downwards, making sure you are going to experience some heat issue in the near future. One last thing, one thing I also took note of was the power delivery and the power upgrade. With a new CPU architecture, a more powerful GPU means more increase in power draw. The PS5 Pro features a completely new design, new internal power supply unit packed tightly against the main motherboard shell. When we look at this power rail under the microscope, we can see heavily reinforced solder joint on the main 12-volt input line. Sony knew this board would draw more current, so they taken the copper traces to prevent the PVC from warping under a thermal load. But packing a hot power supply directly next to a hotter processor creates a massive heat pocket right in the center of the CPU. Well, this was the question I asked, and Sony said we have a solution. That is why we put that big fan right at the center of the console, making sure as the heat is building up there, this massive fan draws that heat out, and that brings us to the new fan that Sony brought in the PS5 Pro. The fan profile and dust accumulation is what I was checking on recently. The exhaust all this heat, right, that the console, the motherboard plus the power supply is providing. Sony went with a redesigned high density fan blade layout. It moved more cubic feet of air per minute whilst running slightly quieter than the original launch model. But as a repair technician who opened dozens of machines, laptops, system unit, gaming consoles, I noticed something. As I see the immediate flaw as soon as I saw that design. The flaw is that the tighter blade spacing acts as a net for dust particles. If you live in a dusty environment, this fan will clog twice as fast as the old design. Trust me, if your area is a dusty area where there's a lot of dust around you, this fan will clog faster than the normal ones. Once the airflow drops by even 20%, the internal heat package will saturate the heatsink, forcing the liquid metal to absolutely thermal limit. What that means is liquid metal, even though it's a good cooling system, it has a limit. So if the fan clogs and the airflow percentage drops down, this guy is going to move or rise to its maximum limit that is supposed to go. And if the maximum limit rate, it means the next thing we are going to see is auto shutdown. Trust me, you may think your device is there, there's an issue. No, it's just an issue with overheating. This is the Majesty repairability verdict I'm giving on this machine. So as the PlayStation is a good device, PlayStation 5 Pro is very nice. If you are a DIYer, somebody that like opening your machines by yourself, fixing it, doing other things, cleaning the fans, or I'll say be incredibly careful. Sony used a tamper-resistant torque screw to lock down the main shielding plate. If your screwdriver slips and punches the inner protective tape, you risk exposing the liquid metal barrier to an open air. This is a level 4 repair. Level 4 repair means it's not for a DIY. Please don't just open it and just do one or two things. One minor mistake you make must cause static charges, or one misplaced screw can easily break the main logic board. It is a beautiful engineering but completely reject casual entry level repairs. So if you don't know what you are doing, please make sure you stay away from casual opening of the PlayStation 5. The final verdict on the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 Pro is an absolute powerhouse of micro-engineering. Sony successfully tamed a massive GPU, upgraded by executing a liquid metal masterclass on the cooling block. However, the tight packaging and horizontal versus vertical race mean this console requires strict maintenance. Keep it clean, keep it well ventilated, and if it ever starts overheating, do not try to fix it with a YouTube tutorial, please. It wasn't meant for YouTube tutorials, okay? So if you see that your machine is overheating, send it to a master bench so that they have the right tool, know how to diagnose and know what exactly is the way of, so that you won't end up damaging your $700 console. And the last thing we are checking is if you want to see us do a real live micro soldering trace repair on this channel, hit that subscribe button below. And we just shattered a 10,000 view milestone and hit an 81 watch hour. Thank you all for your support. If not for you, Majesty computers won't have reached this far. Thank you, the incredible Majesty crew. Drop your comment below. Would you trust liquid metal on your main gaming setup? A Majesty architect, and the workbench is officially clearing down. See you in the next video. Please do well to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Also comment below, let me know what you want us to fix next.